So here we are at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca at the conclusion of day one of practice for Sunday's Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. Fastest today was Scott McLaughlin for Penske, and the other two Penskes were also in the top 10 with Joseph Newgarden 4th and Will Power 10th after running slightly wide on his fastest lap. Also looking strong, would you believe it? Yes, of course, it's Colton Herter. He was second quick today for Andretti Global, and then third was Alex Palou, another former winner here. And then fifth was perhaps possibly the biggest surprise of the day, Pietro Fittipaldi. While his Rahal Letterman Lanigan teammates, Graham Rahal and Christian Lundgaard, were struggling to find grit, struggling to find balance, struggling to find anything worthwhile, Pietro just nailed it and has looked very strong, very confident, and was one of the few people that didn't make an error. There have been a lot of errors this weekend, and we have seen people discovering that the dark black track that we saw this time last year has degraded sufficiently whereby there is nowhere near as much grip. One of the people that is making their big impression this weekend is Rinus VeeKay. He looked very strong until his engine started spitting flames. We spoke to him after practice. Rinus, congratulations on what looked like a really strong performance until suddenly it wasn't. What went wrong?
Well, we're looking into it right now. We don't really know, but we know there was flames coming out of the car, so it's fine. I mean, it was. We had a good practice actually.
Yes.
Felt pretty aggressive straight away. Went to the alternate tire pretty quick just to make sure we got that lap in, that feel on the tire, and right. Kind of shoved down the order because we couldn't really go out to the end. But I'm feeling quick, and so is Christian. So pretty good start of the weekend.
Do you feel like you could have broken into the 67s?
Well, I was on a lap that was actually on it, but then I went off in 3. But that I think we have the pace to do so.
Right.
I mean, only done 15 laps today, so still kind of winning time here and there, and finding a few tricks to gain speed. But I think we were on definitely like top 5 pace.
Oh wow. So obviously the track's degraded since last year. You qualified 8th here last year?
Yes, started 6th though because of engine penalties.
Yeah. So do you think that your car's going to handle that that change in the state of the track?
It seemed like it did. Track felt a bit weird though. Definitely a bit different than last year, and there's some sealant patches in turn 2, which those feel grippy, but then the actual track surface felt like it lost a lot of grip compared to last year. So might have been all the dust, the sand, kind of corroding the track over the off season. But no, I mean, I think we have a pretty versatile car here for this track. So I think whatever the level of grip is going to be, will be pretty fast.
And the primaries, are they holding on well?
They seem. I only did one run on them, but they don't seem to be holding on enough to improve on a second run, which sometimes that's the case in practice 1. So I feel like the tire deck is going to be kind of where it was back before the repave here.
Okay. Final question then. Obviously, you're now in your 5th year with Ed Carpenter Racing. How do you feel this team has evolved its road and street course package over that time that you've been here?
I mean, everything's changed so far. I mean, right now I would say our road course package is the strongest package we have out of the whole year. But yeah, we need to make a step on the street courses. That's really where it's at for us. But yeah, I mean, road courses were. I mean, I was P1 in practice in Barber, and then we had an engine issue. So we're kind of running into bad luck all the time and a few gremlins. But I mean, once we get it right, I'm sure we'll start racking in those top 10s and making our way up the standings.
It seems a long 4 years since your first win.
Yes, I was talking to Kyle Kirkwood at the autograph session, told him it's been 2 years since my last podium. He couldn't believe it either, but yeah, it's been 2 years. So I mean, the trophies are getting dusty at home, so something needs to happen.
Arrow McLaren were in the top 10 with Pato O'Ward and Alexander Rossi, but of course the big talking point around that team is Nolan Siegel, who has driven for Dale Coyne Racing and Juncos Hollinger this year, but has now been brought in as the latest incumbent of the number 6. We spoke to him before practice this morning. Right, we're here with Nolan Siegel, newest recruit to the Arrow McLaren team. Congratulations first on both landing this seat and the LMP2 win at Le Mans. First of all, how demanding was that for you driving at night in the rain?
Yeah, very. It was a super difficult race for my first time at Le Mans. It was about the most difficult conditions that it possibly could have been. Which honestly made it even more rewarding, and it was a very, very difficult race. We had to work for it, but it makes it even more special and really, really cool experience.
Yeah, and how soon after that did you learn that there was a possibility of you coming to Arrow McLaren?
Not long after. That was 1 week ago now, less than a week ago that I was in Le Mans. But no, there had been some, interest from both sides before that, and, some things kind of played out at Road America and then at Le Mans, and the relationship built, and, here we are. So,
yeah.
I think there were some hints that it was a possibility before that, but, it wasn't confirmed really until the announcement came out. So, has not been long.
No, indeed. And so, how much can you take from your experience at Dale Coyne Racing and also Juncos Hollinger to bring forward to this? I mean, that's basically all the experience you've got to go on, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience in IndyCar. I've done really 2 points-paying starts now, and 3 if you count thermal. And so, it is limited experience, but I think having the experience of working with 2 different teams is big, and just having time in an IndyCar. So, it's not my first race weekend. There's going to be a ton to learn and a lot that Arrow McLaren does differently. But I think that any experience that I have in the IndyCar is going to be valuable for me this weekend.
And we were talking about jumping back and forth between the Indy Next car and the IndyCar at Road America for Juncos. That's all off the plate now? You are now a fully focused IndyCar driver, yeah?
Yes. It feels good to be, full-time in IndyCar and not be kind of wondering about what the future holds. So it takes a little bit of pressure off in a way, which is funny to say now, adds pressure and takes some away. And at least now, there's a little bit less to worry about off track, and I can put more focus into the driving on track.
Okay, and final question then. Pato, have you looked at Pato O'Ward and Alex Rossi's data to examine what you can learn from them, how similar your driving style might be to one or the other of them, or neither?
Yeah, I've had a limited amount of time to go through all that, but having Pato and Alex is going to be huge for me. They're both extremely talented, obviously massively successful in IndyCar, and have a lot of experience. So there's going to be a lot that I can learn from them, and I'm going to do my best to soak it all in.
Okay, I will throw in one final question. What will be a good weekend for you here?
It's really hard to put a hard result-based expectation on this weekend, I think. The goal is to have everything go smoothly. I'm going to learn as much as I can, kind of gel with the team, and we'll see what result that brings. I think it's hard to set an expectation in that sense.
Failing to set representative times with Malsher-Lopez Racing, Felix Rosenqvist had an off on what should have been his fastest lap and managed to spectacularly recover without hitting the barrier, but that was his red tyres ruined. Also notable was David Malukas, who finished the session only a 10th behind Felix, but had a spin earlier on as he grows accustomed to the handling of the Malsher-Lopez Racing Honda. Perhaps the most surprising disappointment was Scott Dixon. Now, obviously, he's a defending race winner here, and he is capable of winning from anywhere on the grid. 58 wins attests to that. But he was 18th quickest compared with Pelou's third quickest. So, Yeah, there's some work to do there. Also looking strong was his teammate Marcus Armstrong. But yeah, Dixie's having troubles at the moment. But you know, they're the kind of ones that people like Chris Simmons and Scott Dixon of Chip Ganassi are just masters at digging their way out of. IndyCar will be back in action tomorrow at 10 o'clock for second practice, and that will be followed by qualifying. We'll be here too, and we hope you can join us there. Cheers.
Subscribe to Racer and save 24% off the cover price. You'll get the print and digital editions with an issue archive through 2012. Visit info.racer.com to learn more.